Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Big, chunky bloater boy in VR. Oh, I wish I could do first-person combat. It sucks that it goes to third person, but this is still so cool. Oh, run away. Run away from him. Is he chasing me? How far? Stop chasing me. Stop chasing me. Please stop chasing me. Please stop chasing me. Leave me. Oh, Joel's head's gonna come off. No! When it comes to modded games and experiences, VR users have no shortage of content in 2025. It feels like there is a new VR mod almost every week at the moment. I mean, there are dozens that I have not tried myself, and so much of this channel right here is centered around showcasing these very mods. Basically, there are a lot of VR mods these days, and I am of the opinion that that is a net positive. It's a very good thing. It gives VR users something to continually do, something to constantly play during times where VR games aren't coming out thick and fast. However, I'm also of the opinion that not all VR mods are made equal. Now, within that statement, there are dozens of different layers and factors. Firstly, some game engines are just easier to mod. Take a look at UEVR, for example. That allows us to mod Unreal Engine games, adding motion controls, fixing camera points, changing perspectives, and basically you can take an Unreal Engine game these days and make it feel like a native VR game in a matter of seconds. The right game is so easy to turn into a VR game, something that feels like it was built for VR. Other times, the modder in question just has lots and lots of time on their hands, and they're happy to dedicate sometimes years into making a VR mod that feels very much like a native VR product. And then other times, the game is just very hard to work with. Sometimes you can't manipulate the engine or the game or the rules that are baked into it, so it makes a VR interpretation very difficult. So because of those reasons, and many, many, many others, we often end up with some VR mods that feel fantastic, and I would point anyone towards them. I'd say go and try it, it feels amazing in VR. And then we get tons of other ones that just don't feel so good, and I feel less inclined to point people towards them as something to try. Case in point, Last of Us Part 1 in VR. Now, this is a Luke Ross VR mod. This is his newest VR mod, and immediately when you hear Luke Ross, you know that you're going into a VR experience that isn't going to be massively interactive, not in the way that a VR game typically is. You're not going to have motion controls, you're going to be playing with a controller, and a lot of the time you're going to be playing in third person. Now, for some games, that's fine. It's not necessarily what I want out of a VR modded experience. I typically want something that feels transformational. Now, first-person perspective games immediately feel transformational in VR because they're already in the right viewpoint to make it feel like you're the character. However, not all third-person games work the same way in VR when you just put them into VR. When you create a VR mod for something like The Last of Us, you're left with lots of kind of strange jankiness. Now, this does have an experimental method to allow you to play in first person. You just saw it there. I kind of went back into the character's head. I've completely forgotten what Joel's daughter is called. It's fine, she'll be dead soon. So this mod does allow you to push the camera into first person. Now for me, that's kind of what I want from a Last of Us VR game. I want to be able to see these environments and experience this story from a new point of view. I want it to feel transformational. If I was going to play The Last of Us in third person,
Where the heck are you?
I'd just play it on a big 4K display,
Nearby.
not in VR. Because, for me personally, hold on, I do love this bit. But, I mean, look at all this, like seeing yourself in the mirror, hearing the explosions going to the mirror. The window. This looks amazing in VR in first person. But this VR mod doesn't really allow for you to play this full game in first person because the controls are so finicky. I don't think I would sit and play the entirety of The Last of Us in third person in VR. I don't think that's a great experience. Yes, you get the scale and the depth, but it doesn't look as sharp. It's a performance-intensive game. You lose so much of the crisp details. It's a gorgeous game, The Last of Us. Now, this isn't me saying third-person games don't work in VR. They certainly do. Games that are built for VR, that are third-person experiences like Moss, just absolutely stunning, amazing. Third-person works incredibly in VR. I just don't think this is an instance where we necessarily needed this. I guess my counterpoint would be Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now, Silent Hill 2 Remake is a third-person action game, but it got a full first-person treatment thanks to the UEVR mod. In that first-person treatment, it's completely transformational. You can swing weapons physically, actually collide with enemies. You can lift your hand up and point your gun wherever you want to. The game becomes a first-person game. It becomes an immersive VR game. This doesn't. Because I'm being so careful to not press the right stick up or down, because if I do that, I immediately come away from my character. The first person illusion is broken. I can go through her head, I can go through her body. This game isn't designed to be played first person, and I don't think it works particularly well in third person in VR.
Does anyone come in here?
No.
I wish I was seeing it from her point of view,
Don't go
you know?
near the doors. Just stand back there.
Dad, you're kind of freaking me out.
And I wonder
What's going on?
It's the Coopers.
if someone else within the VR modding
Somebody
community
ride with them. I think they're sick.
has the ability to
Kinda
do that.
sick.
There it is. Coopers, they're sick.
Jimmy!
Dad?
Stuff like this, like moving around and snapping to different camera angles, isn't the worst thing in the world in VR.
Jimmy, just stay
But I would just rather watch this on the
Jimmy,
TV,
I'm
you know?
warning you.
If I'm going to see it this way and not see it from her point of view, my personal preference would be to just watch this on a TV. Because you get like clipping and stuff, you're bounced around a lot.
Listen to me. There is something bad going on.
Like,
You've got to get out of here. Do you
it's
understand?
cool, it's undeniably cool. But it isn't transformational, so for me, it's not kind of worthy of a VR mod unless we can really change the experience and make it
You have any
worthwhile
idea what's
playing
going
with a
on out
headset.
there?
I got some notion.
Especially in 30-degree heat.
You got blood all over
It
you.
ain't mine. Let's just get out of here.
Hey, Sarah.
Okay, the first thing that's
How you
very
holding up,
cool
buddy?
in VR
I'm fine.
is this car ride.
Can we hear us on the radio?
Because
Yeah, sure thing.
it's almost like you're experiencing it as a fourth person in the car. You know, I can freely move around and look out the window
radio.
and not interact
We're doing
with
great.
anything that's happening here.
Newsman wouldn't shut up.
You know, I
Say
am
where to go?
in the car,
Said, Army's putting up roadblocks on the highway.
which is amazing.
No getting into Travis County.
We need to get the hell out. Take 71.
71, that's where I'm headed.
So, like,
Did they say how many are dead?
this is
Probably a
why...
lot. They found this one family all mangled inside their
Tommy.
house.
Don't tell the child that. This is why I wish there was a proper first-person transformational VR mod. Something
Jesus Christ, how did this happen?
to the degree of
They got no
quality
clue.
of the Silent Hill
But we
2
ain't the only town.
VR mod, because that is
First Los Angeles,
fantastic.
just the south.
If
Now
we
we're
had
on
that
the
for The
East
Last of
Coast,
Us,
West Coast.
I would be so happy. This isn't
Holy
the
hell.
Last of Us VR mod I wanted personally.
That's Lewis's farm.
Oh yeah, that farm is on fire.
I hope that son bitch made it out.
I don't think he made it out. I think he's probably dead.
Were we sick?
Nah, we're not
No,
sick. Don't worry about
Of
it.
course not.
How do you know?
So like right
They
now,
said
I
it's
am
just, people in
like
the
my
city.
own
We're
character
good.
in the
Jimmy
car,
live
you
in the
know.
city?
I'm not. It's
That's
Sarah,
right,
isn't
you
it?
did.
I'm not Sarah. I'm not Joel.
We're
I'm not
fine.
Tommy. I'm not these characters. I'm just in here
Alright.
participating because I have that ability
See
to
what
freely
they
move
mean?
around. So
Who do you
this
think
kind
you're
of
doing?
works.
Keep
This scene
driving.
I got a
works.
kid, Joel.
So do
But
we.
we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy.
Keep driving. Leave them. Yeah, they're going to get eaten now by bloody zombies. And the other thing that makes the VR mod not fantastic is the resolution. Now, I have it set fairly high, kind of at the cusp, the point before performance starts taking a hit.
This is bad.
And yeah, it's
Everyone
kind of
and their
grainy,
mother had the same damn idea.
not as sharp as if you were to
could
play
just
the
backtrack.
game on a flat screen. And it's such a good-looking game that's such a shame that.
Turn this
Look
around.
at that, that's very cool.
Tommy.
Such a shame that it doesn't
Tommy!
look
Holy shit!
sharp enough. Here come the zombos. Hello, mate! Whee! There he goes.
Just happened. Did you see that? Yes.
This whole scene
Damn. Turn here. Turn
works
here.
really well in VR, in first person. Okay, second bit that looks really cool but isn't consistent is this bit here as you're walking through the streets
Watch out!
No.
as Joel,
Just keep your eyes closed,
holding Sarah in your arms. Like, this shows how amazing a first-person VR game could be. Oh no, we're walking into zombies. But it's inconsistent because occasionally Joel will just kind of pop through your vision. You'll get little bits of his head. If you run, he kind of leans forward. It breaks, there we go, breaks the illusion of first person.
Those people are on fire.
Don't look,
This is
Sarah.
why I kind of wish we kind of didn't have this VR mod, or this wasn't publicly released until someone else could get their hands on it
Keep
and
looking at
polish
me,
it up and add an actual first-person mode, if that's even
Over
possible.
there.
And again, it's like super personal preference. It's very much like
We're
that's
gonna
just
get out of
because
this. I promise.
that's what I want. Again, I want my VR mods to feel transformational. I want them to feel like experiences I can't just have by playing the game on a TV. And The Last of Us is so cinematic, so
This way. Through the
so
alley.
good that playing it in VR in third person actually detracts. Oh, I'm inside his head. Detracts from the experience rather than adds to it. So I think you have to do something like turn it into a first person game to make playing it in VR worthwhile. I mean, it isn't the end of the world playing it like this in first person.
God damn it. We're almost there.
Because
We're almost there.
it
baby.
snaps you back to third for like important moments like fighting enemies off and stuff. But yeah, so often you kind of
Find a way out of here.
come outside of Joel's head and you see his head popping through. I wish we could make the character invisible like we can in UEVR.
Move it.
Here we go. So,
Ever stay at a place like this?
this is
It all went to shit, I mean.
the first location I want to show you.
No, this is too rich for my blood.
Bet it was nice.
This is the hotel in the Pittsburgh section of the game. Now, I'm not going to go through and play massive chunks. I just kind of want to show you the potential of a VR Last of Us experience, if it was ever created and if it was in first person, because I think that's how you transform this game and make it feel new and different for a VR audience, as opposed to just pushing a third person game into VR. Now, like, just sit with me for a second and just appreciate like all the details. Like, imagine if I had a full body rig and I could look down and see my feet like splashing through that water. Now, I don't
Bet we
even
can get up
mind
there.
that my character's invisible because I'm kind of inside them. Seeing the little details like the water rippling like that is still phenomenal in VR. And just look at this like environment. It's stunning. Can you blame me for wanting a first-person immersive Last of Us VR experience? I just, it's hard to play the game in third person in VR, knowing this is here and it isn't quite perfect, because this is what I want. And again, this whole video is me really just saying what I would want. I'm sure there are people out there who are like, I'd play Last of Us in third person in VR. That sounds pretty cool. But for me personally, like, this is what I want. I mean, like, just being able to look at the characters and kind of see them up close and appreciate all the little details and stuff. Like, it's really cool. But this version of the mod just isn't quite good enough to justify it, because the camera isn't locked into a fixed position, and even things like turning, I have to do really slowly and carefully, because if I press up and down, I just bounce out of the character. But look, like, it could be so good. And this is what I mean, like, not all VR mods are made equal. I don't not want a Last of Us VR mod. There I go, flying outside of my head. I would love a Last of Us VR mod, but I want the right one, you know. And I don't think this is necessarily the right one. Grab those, grab those. It could be fantastic as kind of like a starting point. But it just isn't quite there, not for what I want it to do anyway. I don't know if someone else could use this as a foundation.
I'll be checking in for one night, and I would like your finest suite, please.
You will not be checking in for any nights.
Why, yes, you can take my luggage upstairs.
She's
You are a
such an
weird
amazing
kid.
character. Got my ladder. Get out of my way, Ellie. Now, I know Luke has made mods for other third-person games that have had first-person options, and I haven't, like, been mean about those. But I genuinely think that those games and the first-person kind of camera implementation just worked a lot better. Dark Souls comes to mind, and Elden Ring both come to mind, because in those games you could kind of, you had more control over where the camera sat. For one, you can move it further away from the character so they wouldn't burst through your field of view, your vision. But it was also kind of locked in terms of its, is that the Y-axis? think that's the Y-axis, I forget. So you wouldn't press up and down and float up and down out of your body like you do in this game. So those games just worked a little bit better. Get on the ladder. If I could move the camera a bit further forward and then lock that axis so that I wasn't constantly floating up and down with the camera like I am here, we might be on something. Okay, we have to do some combat here, and combat is kind of pooey. You have to use your head to aim, and I'm not against that in most games in VR, but in this one, it just feels really hard. There we go, he's dead. And again, like, goes from first person to third person, so it's not unplayable, but I just wish it would stay in first person. Oh, who's this cheeky bugger? Where am I aiming? There I am. Come here. Where are you? Alright, he's just leaving. Oh, not quite. Where are you?
Go!
Yeah, aiming with your head in a game like this where, I don't know, it isn't for me. Oh, no! He's bloody battering me to death. Thank you. Oh, another one. Bugger, I don't think I'll even get through this small... Oh, I did. I was about to say I wasn't going to get through this small wave of enemies, but I think I'm fine. Right, let's have a little walk through here, see if there are any more baddies alive. I don't think there are. I mean, can you imagine, like, if Sony commissioned just like even just a short Last of Us VR experience? It would just go such a long way to selling units. I think people would buy PSVR 2s purely off the back of that. Even if it didn't follow like Joel and Ellie, just like someone else within the world of the game, and maybe just like a short experience where you have to go through a city. Like from Outbreak Day, you're trying to make your way somewhere. I'd buy that. I'd play it. You know, if it's set inside this world and it had these kind of visuals but built for VR, it would be phenomenal. It would be so, so good. Now, the one thing that I do think this Luke Ross VR mod for The Last of Us could be very good for is just fans of the game kind of being able to come in and just see certain locations in VR in first person and just get an idea of the perspective of everything and kind of understand the scale of everything. I think for that, it's a very cool VR tourism tool. I used to talk about Vorpex being very good at that. And I think it's the same here for the real mod in regards to The Last of Us. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Daddy's in the bath. Because, I mean, like, looking at all these details is so phenomenal in VR. And I think I will just load into one more location and just look at a clicker. You know, I just want to look at a clicker in VR. That's all I really want to do.
Creepy.
Okay, it's starting to get... Oh, hello! I think he's dead. It's starting to get really hot in this room. It's about 30 degrees in my office, and my lip is starting to get wet. I can feel it under my beard. So I will choose one more location that's got some bloody lickers. Lickers! I'm not playing Resident Evil. Some clickers. And
Over there.
I will... Hold on. Change to your bloody good gun, mate. Change to your rifle. Stop hiding. There we go. Did I actually hit him? Did I actually get him? Oh my god, I actually got him. That was amazing, considering I'm aiming with my face. And I feel like you have to aim down quite a bit in this game. He's bloody dead. And I see there's one more guy behind here. I see his little... Is that his head? Can I get that? Yeah, I can get that. And then one more guy here. How am I nailing these shots? Oh, I missed one. I was always going to miss... Oh, behind me! Oh, Joel's dead. Well, I have to go to a new location. Right, so I've loaded into the high school area of the game from the Billstown chapter. And this is going to be the last thing I show you before I wrap up the video. I've got bloody infected trying to break through the door behind me, which is actually pretty scary. So what's the point of this video? I guess the point of this video is to show you that a VR Last of Us game could be amazing, but I don't think this particular VR mod is doing it justice at this stage. Yes, you can just play it in third person in VR. Third person games are very good in VR. I just don't think The Last of Us is a great match for that particular scenario. When you're playing it in VR, you're losing a lot of the clarity. It isn't as sharp. You're losing a lot of the resolution, the detail, the immersion of it. Yes, it's technically more immersive because the world's all around you. You get a sense of scale and depth, but you lose some of the cinematic nature of the game, and the game is so cinematic. Now, I will just add, before I kill these infected over here and have a good look at a clicker, this video isn't me hating on Luke Ross either. It's not me hating on any of the VR modders who have made VR mods for games that I don't think work particularly well in VR. I played a couple recently, Alan Wake 2, Starfield, that was more of a performance issue. Some of these games just, they don't work great in VR, and I don't think we need to force every game into VR unless we can make it feel worthwhile. My dream is that more VR modders would focus on older games that run really well and therefore are less performance intensive in VR and just work really, really well. I'd like to see more old FPSs modded into VR. Right, let's have a look at this horrible, horrible thing. Should I just shoot? Should I just shoot from here and it will come running? Yeah, that's going to come running now. I want to look at you. I want to see you. I'm not even going to fight you. I just want to look at you. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, no, maybe I will shoot you. Bugger off. Okay. Oh, I wish I could do the combat in first person. I really do. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. Oh, her arms and legs have all come off. Can you come here? Oh, yeah, come here. Come here. Oh, no, don't come here. Oh, jeez, shiv it. Ah, I died. Right, let's try that again. That'll get her attention. And then I will use the shotgun to kill everything. Yeah, thank you very much. That was very good. Double whammy, baby. Oh, okay. I'll have to kill these infected and then have a look at them when they're dead on the floor, because I don't think I'm going to get a chance to look at them
We can cut through those classrooms.
up close and personal when they're running towards me. Okay, let's have a little look. So this is the other thing that this is really good for, like being able to look. I mean, look at that. I think I can crouch down as well. Can I go even lower? I mean, look at this. This is why I want a first-person Last of Us game. I want to be able to look at all these details up close and personal. They're disgusting. I mean, look at the gore. It is pure filth. But that's the joy of VR, you know? We get to see these things up close. We get to appreciate all the little details that the art design team, you know, the team that have built these games have put into these characters and these models. Like, you don't get to see this if you're playing flat screen third person. You just don't. So, yeah, it's kind of why I want my VR mods to be transformational. But it's also a very personal thing, because I play a lot of games flat screen still. I'm not like this kind of VR convert. I'm not like all games need to be VR. I just don't feel that way. And I know a lot of VR creators who do feel that way. They're very much like, everything has to be VR, otherwise it's bad. It's just not me. I just love video games. Video games are flipping cool, man. Like, VR is crazy cool, but I don't need every game to be a VR game. And some games just, I don't think, work very well as VR games, and we probably shouldn't force it, you know? It does, despite how cool it looks. I just rather we did it correctly than just try to kind of ham-fist something together. How did you come that way? You freaks. Alright, here they come, here they come, here they come, here they come. Let's go back to Amy mode. Yeah. Nice, they're both dead. They've got to be dead. Are you dead? You're not dead. Why aren't you dead? I've got to break my neck to shoot this guy. I literally turned my neck too far to the left. Right, I'm going to leave it here. This is the Last of Us VR mod.
Okay, keep at it.
Not a favourite of mine. I love it from a tourism perspective. I love being able to come in, switch to first person, and just look at the characters, look at the environments, pretend I'm playing a proper VR Last of Us experience. You know, just walk around these environments, these levels that I know and love, these areas that I've gone through a dozen times flat screen. But that's kind of where my love for it stops. I hope this isn't the only Last of Us VR product we ever get. Hopefully this isn't the last iteration for this VR mod. And hopefully someone works something out that allows us to play the whole game in first person, maybe makes the character invisible and locks the camera to a first person perspective. Probably quite hard in this game, because I know there's lots of baked in animations for so many different things. So maybe not possible, but I thought the same for Silent Hill, and look where we got with that. So maybe I'm wrong. Uh-oh. Out of bloody bullets, mate. That's it, get your pistol out and just kill him. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, please do leave a like, or leave a comment, hit subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you soon for another video. Not many videos at the moment because it's too bloody hot for me to film, but when it cools down I'll be back to my, ooh, okay, straight out of Joel's bum for some reason. Back to my normal routine when things have cooled down a bit. Give me that, thank you. Some things look, I mean, that felt VR, that felt like a VR interaction, kneeling down and picking that up, but yeah, just a shame it's not everything. Can I shoot these? Could if I had a gun, probably. Let's put that one on. Can I break these? Of course I can. Bloody Last of Us. Fantastic game. Right, take care everyone. See you soon for another one.